United States, other NATO members. We are doing what we can to allow them to take control of the security situation on their own. What you're seeing in Kunduz, what you're seeing in other parts of Afghanistan is not a total surprise. This is still part of the fighting season. The Taliban would like to take population centers. They've had a much harder time, as General Nicholson has pointed out, being able to take population areas. And the Afghan government, the Afghan security forces are carrying out their own plan, their own campaign to try and prevent the Taliban from doing that. They have prioritized population areas over more rural areas in some instances because of the resources they have at this particular moment in time, the capabilities they have. We are working very aggressively to bolster their capabilities, to provide the support that they need to be able to do this on their own. And what you're seeing in Kunduz is, yes, a challenge to the Afghan security forces posed by the Taliban, but also, as we've talked about, the resiliency of these forces, the improvement of these forces to be able to do this in a way that they've been able to in the last few days. This is capabilities they didn't necessarily have some time back. So yes, it is absolutely a dangerous situation in Afghanistan, a challenging situation for the Afghan government, and certainly for the Afghan forces who have sacrificed mightily to defend their own country. But I think as General Nicholson has pointed out, in terms of being able to maintain and control population areas, the Afghan security forces are doing a much better job. They're carrying out their campaign plan. And if you look at where the Taliban has tried to strike, their ability to hold those population areas has not been successful in this most recent round of fighting, as challenging as it's been for the Afghan security forces.
One last question I've asked. I think about 40-odd Afghan troops in the United States have gone missing. Can you talk about some of the steps you're taking to make sure that doesn't happen as frequently in the future?
Well, Idris, as you know, because I know you spoke to some of our staff about this, all those Afghan trainees who come to the United States, first of all, go through a vetting process to be able to qualify to come here to the United States. In those instances where they have gone missing, and this has been something we've had to deal with over the years. We've been training Afghans in this country for some time. I think more than 2,000 have been trained even in the last few years alone. There's a notification process that we go through, of course, trying to determine where these people are. Of the people who have been missing in over the last 2 years or so, I believe the number that was provided to you was somewhere around 40, more than 40 individuals. There are 32. We understand the status of those people. Again, every effort's made to try and determine where these people have gone, what the reasons are. In some cases, they've gone home. In some cases, there have been efforts, as I understand it, to go to Canada. Some have sought to legally remain in the United States. And so there are different explanations for each one of these circumstances. But these are people who have vetted, and again, when there is someone who is officially considered absent without leave, there is a very formal process in which we notify not only the Department of Homeland Security, but also Customs and Immigration Enforcement, certainly the Afghan government. There are a range of steps that are taken in each and every case to try and determine the status of those individuals. Lucas.
Just to follow, out of the 40-odd Afghans that are missing, how many have been found?
As I said, I think the number that I saw since January of 2015, there have been more than 40 who have gone AWOL, and I believe 32 we've been able to determine their status.
When you say determine their status, does that mean you've found them, they're here in America or Canada, but you know where they are?
Yes.
And just one more on the storm. Is the Secretary weighing holding back these ships before they deploy to Haiti just to see what kind of potential devastation happens here on U.S. shores?
Of course, the Secretary and the command leadership here, decisions will be made, as I think Admiral Tidd spoke to yesterday, depending on the needs going forward, exactly what impact the storm has, not only in the Caribbean, but also here in the United States. Right now, those ships, one of our concerns, of course, is to get those ships out of the way of the storm. And so decisions will be made based on what the greatest need is and capabilities that certain ships provide, if in fact they're needed at all. And again, there'll be a myriad of factors that weigh into that, as I think Admiral Tidd weighed in yesterday. Yes, Laurent.
Has the government of Haiti asked for the help of these ships? Because there are reports saying that the Haiti government has asked for help.
I know that we're providing help. As you know, there are helicopters in Haiti right now, and we're providing assistance. We have the team on the ground in Haiti right now. So the United States and the Department of Defense is providing assistance to Haiti as we speak. And we'll continue to do so. And I think the decisions will be made in coordination, of course, with our interagency colleagues and with the government of Haiti as our team gets stood up there. And you know about the team that we have based in Port-au-Prince right now. They'll be working with the Haitian government.
Is the government of Haiti asking for such means as the one that the free ships can provide?
I'm not aware of a specific request for a capability on board one of those ships. I know that we're in communication with the government of Haiti about providing assistance, and we are providing assistance. And of course, we'll review every single request made to see the best way for the United States government to be able to handle that, whether or not it's something the Department of Defense does or perhaps, again, one of our interagency colleagues. We'll be working closely. USAID obviously plays a lead role in all this, and we'll continue to coordinate closely with them. Carla.
Thank you. On the storm, can you give us a breakdown of the U.S. troops that are in Haiti right now and who's expected to arrive in the next coming days?
Let me make sure I have the very latest, Carla, so I'm going to take that question and we'll get back to you specifically, because I know there have been some movements in the last little bit. I mentioned the helicopters, the team that just landed there. I want to make sure I can give you specific numbers, exactly how many U.S. forces are in Haiti at this moment. So I'll get that for you after this.
Thank you. And on Somalia, the strike on the 28th, do we have an update on the investigation?
I don't have anything, just that the investigation is ongoing. And, you know, as soon as we have something, we'll be happy to share it with you. But I don't have anything since you and I spoke last. Yes, Kasim.
Peter, there are some reports coming from Iraq claiming that Colonel Dorian called Turkish military presence in northern Iraq as illegal and called Turks as invaders. I got a statement from here saying that these are false, but I wonder about Pentagon's general assessment of Pentagon itself about Turkish armed forces presence in northern Iraq.
Yeah. Again, my understanding is that the question about the words that were represented, that was not factually correct as to what Colonel Dorian said. Our views on this should be well known, and this is something for the Turkish government and the government of Iraq to speak to, and we would urge them, those two governments, to speak to this issue and the presence of Turkish troops in Iraq. This is something that we feel those two governments should be able to speak to most directly. And the view of the United States has been that, of course, the sovereign territory of Iraq, that the Iraqi government should be able to speak to foreign troops on its soil, and that's something that, again, this is a sovereign issue for the government of Iraq.
You, and some kind of, by saying that it's a sovereign right of Iraqi government to, you know, to decide about the foreign troops on its territories. So do you imply that Turks are there, like, without request or knowledge or consent of the Iraqi government? Have you spoke to any of the parties about the issue?
This is an issue for the government of Turkey and the government of Iraq to speak to. The government of Iraq can answer that question. That's not something I can answer from this podium. And again, the coalition of which Turkey is a member is focused very much on ridding Iraq of the ISIL threat, Syria as well, and that will remain our focus, and we think there's an ample opportunity for the coalition to work very closely with the government of Iraq to achieve that goal. Jenny.
Thank you, Peter. For the North Korea's completely disposal of nuclear weapons, it seems to be United States diplomatic options looks like went out power forever. It looks like, for a while against North Korea. What the U.S. will take military strikes near the future against North Korea?
Jane, I'm sorry, I didn't totally understand your question there. Could you repeat the question?
What part of? I said the U.S. Since the U.S. State Department, I asked the question last week.
Yeah.
They don't diplomatically solve this problem. It doesn't work because there are so many talks going on, but it not work.
That diplomacy has run its course. Is that your question?
Yes. So
Yeah.
what will the U.S. take military action to North Korea near the future? Only military
Jane,
action.
I think you know our position on this, and that the United States continues to work shoulder to shoulder with our South Korean allies, our other allies in the region, to defend against the threat posed by North Korea. And we, our State Department colleagues, will continue to encourage the North Koreans to take the steps necessary to reduce the tensions on the Korean Peninsula. And in the meantime, given the actions we've seen from the North Koreans, we'll continue to take the necessary steps we need to protect the American people and protect our allies in the region. And I'm not going to get into military movements or decisions in the future, but this is a position we've had as allies of South Korea for years, and we'll continue to stand by our allies in that part of the world.
Are there any scenario for beheading North Korean Kim Jong-un, just like beheading of Osama bin Laden? Do you have any beheading operations?
I'm sorry, this is a very serious topic, and again, I'm just going to reiterate our intention here. Our goal has always been to reduce tensions on the Korean Peninsula, that there are steps that the North Koreans can take to do that. We certainly encourage a diplomatic resolution of this situation. And there have been ample opportunities for the North Koreans to pursue diplomacy, and there still are. But in the meantime, the Department of Defense will continue to take the steps we need to ensure the safety of the American people, and also, of course, ensure the safety of our allies in the region. So.
Do you remember 2 days ago that the Vice President debate, they mentioned about the preemptive strike to North Korea. So possibility of you have special forces in South Korea, so you have got something on it.
I am going to leave the political debate to the campaign season, and again, I'll leave it to the candidates to speak to their own views on this issue, but I'm speaking on behalf of the Department of Defense, and I think it's clear where we are with regard to this issue. So, other questions? Yes, how are you?
So in the last couple of days, there have been a series of disclosures about the potential that another contractor got access to highly sensitive material and removed it from an intelligence community network. Is the department satisfied that its current safeguards against the insider threat are adequate, and have there been new or renewed considerations on potential adjustments to the policy to protect against the insider threat?
You know that because it's a law enforcement matter, I can't speak specifically to any individual case here. This is obviously an issue that we take very seriously, and that the government as a whole takes very seriously. And there have been changes, as you know, put in place since the revelations from Edward Snowden. And we believe those changes have made a difference. And this is something we'll continue to watch very carefully. And everyone in the Department of Defense needs to take the issue of the protection of sensitive information very, very seriously, and that is impressed upon everyone, certainly within this institution, and will continue to be. So, yes, Ryan.
Just one other question on the Major General Lewis Inspector General's report. I saw this